many of you know that I've been trying hard not to purchase lots of fabric and quilt accessories, and I've been doing really good with that. But I do want to share a new gadget with you, and this is a power strip tower. Now, I learned about these from one of my friends who came to the quilt retreat that we had here in July, and she had one of these sitting on her table, and I'm like, oh man, what's that? And she said, well, it's like a surge protector. And I thought it was so cool, so I bought one, and I want to share it with you because I think it's just really useful in your quilt room, but not just in your quilt room. I've used it for retreats, and I used it when we went camping, and it worked great. So I want to tell you a little bit about this power tower. Okay, so in the description of the product, I purchased this from Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description below, but this is what these are the features that are listed in the description. First of all, you can plug in 18 devices. You can plug in 12 outlets and 6 USB. So that's a total of 18 devices that you can plug in to this one unit. And you're supposed to be able to do that safely. Now, it's kind of neat because there's 3 levels. It has this switch design, and there's 3 switches. So if you push this, it turns off all of these on the lower level. If you push this one off, it turns off all of these, and the same here. So that's kind of neat because you can turn off several devices at once depending on what level you have them plugged into. I like that feature. They claim that the cable core is made up of pure copper, which they say is sturdy and safe to use. So I guess I'll have to take their word for it on that because I really don't know. But they do say that in the features. Now the cord is a little over 6 feet long, and that worked great at the quilt retreats as well as in the camper, and it works good here in my quilt room too. But 6 feet is quite a bit of cord, so I liked that feature. Now this surge protector is supposed to keep your devices safe, all the devices plugged into it, safe during electrical spikes, including those during thunderstorms. So that's, to me, was another important feature. Now that's what they claim. I haven't had any problems with it yet, but that's what's listed in their description. It also has an overload switch that switches off automatically when this exceeds 1875 watts. So when it exceeds that, it shuts off. Claim the materials that this is made out of are fireproof and resistant to high temperatures. So that's important. We don't want anything catching on fire. So that's a good deal too. And one of their other features that they claim is that it's a space saver. It does, go vertically, so I guess perhaps it does. I do have 2 long surge protectors, and they take up quite a bit of space on my counter. I could plug all my devices in here, but I don't do that here at the house. But I do use this on my table. Now, I want to tell you some of the things that I've really liked about it. Number one is I think it's pretty portable. And like I said, I've taken it to the quilt retreat that I just recently went to. My friend used it at the quilt retreat that was here. And then I just recently took it camping when Wes and I went. And it was for me, it was easily portable, so I did like that feature. Now, I'm going to show you a picture. This is a picture of me using this, or this in use, at the quilt retreat. Now, some other people plug their phones into it because it does have the USB port, so they did plug that into here. Or they may have even used their wall unit, so they may have used their outlet here. But anyway, so I think it's pretty portable. Now, one thing that I really liked is you don't have to take this along and be sure you have this. You can just use your cord and plug your USB, plug it right directly in to the USB port there, and I do like that. I like that you can set it on top of the table, so you're not having to crawl around underneath tables. And I also like that all the cords are up. They're not dangling off the table, and they're not on the floor. And I think that's especially important at quilt retreats, because the more cords that are there, with all those tables and all, I feel like the more tripping hazards there are likely to be. So I like that it can sit on the tabletop. Now that also kind of has a downside too, because in my quilt room it takes up space on my limited countertop. But I don't know, I guess my like for it has outweighed that. So, and I really liked it when we took it in the camper, because we weren't having to crawl under the table to plug everything in and unplug it. So we could just, use the switch here, the switch right here to turn all those off. So I really did like that, and we could plug in lots of different devices. Now in a camper you have to be really careful about not overloading circuits, but anyway, it worked out well for us, and we're pretty careful in the camper. So those are all the things that I really like about this device. If you've used this device, please tell me about it in the comments, whether you've liked it or whether you haven't. It is a little pricey. If you're interested, you can look up the price on Amazon with my link. But it is a little pricey, but to me it's worth it, because for the features that were listed, it makes me feel like it's safe to use, and it is going to shut off if it exceeds that 1875 watts. So for me, it's worth the money, and if I don't have to crawl on the floor or bend way over to get things plugged in all the time and unplug them, I like that feature. Okay, so if you've used it, tell me about it in the comments below. If you have another gadget that you think is worth sharing, please share that in the comments below. And until next time, have fun quilting.